Some unique ways of greetings in Asia. Greetings are a cultural aspect, a ceremonial method that expresses respect for others. Many countries around the world have unique ways of greeting each other, leaving an impression on international visitors when they witness it for the first time. Learning about greetings as well as understanding the customs and cultural norms of the places you visit not only shows respect for the locals but also makes you an informed and polite visitor to their country. Let's explore some unique greetings of Asian people. Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, people shake hands and say the phrase, Assalamu alaikum, which means, peace be upon you. Usually, they then kiss on the nose and place a hand on the shoulder of the other person. However, please note that this is only for close acquaintances. Arabs highly value rituals and often judge based on outward appearances. Therefore, when greeting or getting to know Arab people, foreigners should be cautious and behave according to the principle. If you have a good understanding of their customs and traditions, then you can express it outwardly, otherwise, it is best to restrain from showing any attitude. Arabs consider hesitance and hesitation in communication, meeting people, and even making acquaintances as mature and respectful behavior. Thailand, why and bowing. When visiting Thailand, one immediately notices that it is a country deeply rooted in Buddhism, and their culture is greatly influenced by Buddhist teachings. Their rituals and ceremonies are often solemn, reflecting their respect and cultural greetings. Thai people are generally friendly and courteous when meeting each other. The form of greeting and communication in Thailand is the Y gesture accompanied by a bow. This gesture is usually performed with seriousness, demonstrating respect and politeness. The act of placing the hands together in the shape of a lotus bud signifies reverence because in Thai culture, the lotus flower symbolizes respect. The act of placing both hands close to the chest shows that the gesture comes from the heart of the greeter. When greeting an older person, it is appropriate to let the nose touch the hands, while when greeting monks, one should bow more deeply, allowing the forehead to touch both hands. When greeting someone of the same age or slightly older, they only perform the Y and give a slight bow of the head. When receiving such a greeting, the person will Y and bow in response. However, monks will not perform a Y in return when greeted. Depending on the relationship, there are more diverse ways of greeting. When meeting someone older or of higher rank, the younger person must bow first, and the level of the bow depends on the situation to match appropriately. When receiving a greeting from a Thai person, it is customary to reciprocate the greeting to show that you are polite and respectful. In addition to the Y gesture and bowing, Thai people also say the phrase, Sawadi, in Thai, which means, may good things happen to you. This phrase is also used to bid farewell or say goodbye. Tibet, tongue sticking out as a greeting. Tibet is also known as a region famous for Buddhism, however, it has some very peculiar cultural customs and traditions. When Tibetans meet, they stick out their tongues to greet each other. This gesture is seen as a form of welcoming and showing respect to the other person. In fact, the tradition of sticking out the tongue as a greeting among Tibetans dates back many centuries. Tibetans believe that in ancient times, there was an extremely cruel king named Langdama who had a black tongue. When the king died, the people believed that he would be reincarnated. Therefore, when Tibetans meet, they stick out their tongues to prove that they do not have a black tongue. According to them, anyone with a black tongue would be considered the embodiment of the ruthless king. Japan, bowing as a greeting. Japan is famous for being a country that highly values culture, rituals, and etiquette. In Japan, to show respect, people often greet each other with a humble bow. This is also a distinctive cultural characteristic of the land of the cherry blossoms. The bowing etiquette in Japan is called ojiji. Ojiji encompasses various degrees of bowing, ranging from a slight nod to a 90-degree deep bow. The bowing ritual in Japan carries different meanings, expressing different emotions, from gratitude and respect to apologies. The depth of the bow in Japanese greetings depends on the context, the relationship between the person being greeted and the person doing the greeting, as well as the gender. Accordingly, there are 3 types of bows that represent different levels. 15-degree bow. This type of bow is commonly used in daily social interactions with peers, friends, and colleagues. 30-degree bow. This signifies formality and politeness and is often used when two people meet for the first time. 45-degree bow. When bowing at a 45-degree angle, it indicates deep gratitude towards the person being greeted. Additionally, there are differences in bowing etiquette between men and women. For men, when bowing, they keep their hands straight and close to their sides, with their fingers and arms together, and bow down. For women, they keep their hands straight in front of them, forming a V shape with their palms, with the right hand placed on top of the left hand, fingers extended and closed, and then slowly bow. When greeting superiors or older individuals, bowing lower and for a longer duration demonstrates greater respect. In all situations, the Japanese people bow as a form of greeting, whether it's when meeting, parting, celebrating anniversaries, expressing gratitude, apologizing, or performing religious ceremonies. Mongolia, welcoming with open arms. In contrast, Mongolians have a very different way of greeting that immediately distinguishes them as Mongolian. Mongolians often welcome guests by extending their arms wide and placing them on the other person's hands. They believe that this gesture represents openness and joy upon meeting. This greeting method emphasizes welcoming and disregards the social status of the other person, treating them as a friend. To add even more solemnity, Mongolians use a piece of cloth, known as harda, to symbolize the connection between individuals. In this case, each person gently holds the silk strip with both hands and slowly bows down. This is an important form of greeting, demonstrating respect for the traditional culture of Mongolian people. In addition, there is another legend that Tibetans stick out their tongue so that the other person can know that they haven't been reciting mantras or performing any dark magic that could affect those around them. India. In India, people fold their hands in front of their chest and say, Namaste, as a greeting. Namaste is a gesture where the palms of both hands touch each other horizontally in front of the chest, accompanied by a slight nod. Sometimes, Namaste follows immediately after the initial handshake. You can respond by placing your right hand in front of your chest after the handshake. Furthermore, there is a more formal greeting called Namaskar, which carries a special meaning of, I bow to you. If you have watched Balika Vadu or other Indian movies, you might be familiar with this greeting. Philippines. Mano is a traditional greeting gesture in the Philippines, demonstrating respect towards the person being greeted, especially older individuals. To perform mano, you gently grasp the hand, usually the right hand, of the person you want to greet, and then bow your head so that your forehead touches the back of their hand. By doing so, you have successfully performed the opening gesture in the meeting. Greetings are a cultural trait, a ceremonial method that demonstrates respect for others. Understanding the customs and etiquette of greetings in a foreign country not only shows respect but also makes others appreciate you more when visiting these countries.